Hello, I'm Panos Kotzathanasis, and this is Bad Accent Video Reviews. Today we're gonna talk about a film that's one of the favorite of many of the writers of Asian Movie Pass. This is the 2018 movie Killing by Shinya Tsukamoto, one of the greatest films of the latest years and also a truly great samurai film. To start, I would like to start with the question that came to my mind as soon as I saw the film is, can intense violence be used to communicate a message about anti-violence? If Shinya Tsukamoto began giving a reply to this question with Fires on the Plain, this time he gives a definite one and in the most stunning manner. Let us begin with a synopsis of the film. After 250 years of peace, the idle samurais hear again the bells of war in the mid-19th century coming from Edo, as the negotiations with the Americans start taking place. Mokunoshin Suzuki is another master samurai who earns his living by working in the rice paddies of an isolated farm, while honing his skills by sparring with the family's son, Ichisuke, who dreams of becoming a samurai despite the fact that he was born a peasant. At the same time, the beginning of a subtle romance seems to take place between Suzuki and Yu, the family's daughter, despite the fact that the girl disapproves of her brother's dealings with the samurai ways. Nevertheless, the sudden appearance of Jirozaemon Sawamura, a veteran samurai who is in search for talented warriors that will fight for the shogun's side, and of a band of ragtag ronins changes the lives of all involved forever as the cycle of violence opens. This opening actually is where Tsukamoto's main comments lie. Once violence ensues, no one remains unaffected, despite his degree of involvement, and the closing of the cycle is as difficult as its opening is easy. His approach towards the presentation of the aforementioned borders on the extreme, as he does not shy away from the violence even a bit, with the tendency finding its apogee in the scene in a small cave, which could be easily described as butchering. The amount of violence in the film, however, does not hide his messages by any means, as his hatred for war and violence in general extends to the concept of revenge, human nature, in terms of how people cherish violence when they benefit from it, and the fact that samurai swordsmanship may look impressive and noble, but in reality its only purpose is to kill. Through this last concept, and particularly through Sawamura's continuous will to follow its rules, Tsukamoto seems to highlight the futility of Bushido in a fashion similar to the one presented in films such as Harakiri and Samurai Rebellion, where the nobleness of Bushido was completely deconstructed. The beauty of the samurai ways, and particularly of the swordsmanship, is also highlighted through Tsukamoto's and Satoshi Hayashi's cinematography, with Suzuki functioning as the vessel for this tactic, but this lasts only briefly, as the reality deriving mostly from violence eventually takes over. Again, deconstructing anything about the concept that could be described as even remotely positive. Suzuki, through a great performance by Sosuke Ikematsu, also stresses the fact that even samurais are normal people, as his actions are also dictated by fear and occasionally by lust, with Tsukamoto inducing the film with some elements of perverse sensuality through this last concept. The blame for the blights that befell people at the time lie mostly on the previous generation, according to the film, with Tsukamoto as Sawamura highlighting the fact that his generation swept the new one towards a direction its members did not want to go, as presented by Suzuki. At the same time, the story also somewhat justifies this act as a necessity due to the circumstances of the times, as dictated by the band of ronins that appear in the area. The role peasants play in this concept is also excellently portrayed by Yu Aoi as Yu and Ryusei Maeda as Ichisuke, whose sole roles are the ones of the victim, with the former's performance giving a truly tragic tone to this idea, while highlighting the fact that at times, as the one the story unfolds in, love is also nothing but a burden, another sentiment that leads to despair. Tsukamoto's editing induces the film with a rather fast pace, while also retaining, at times, a nightmarish atmosphere, a sense that is also heightened by the use of shaky handheld camera. This last aspect somewhat faults the various action scenes, but even this fault falls, if we can describe it as such, falls under the general style of the film that has the samurai ways stripped of any kind of nobility. The element, though, that actually elevates the film to a very high level is the late Chu Ishikawa's music, whose electronic and percussion sounds accompany and occasionally dictate the atmosphere in the most impressive fashion, with the ending title scene highlighting the fact to the fullest. Killing presents an impressive combination of meaningfulness and aesthetics that results in one of the best films of 2018, to say the least, and a truly worthy entry to the samurai genre through its extreme but quite realistic approach to the whole concept. The film was also a sample that there are still directors in Japan that can create movies with tension, movies where violence has a, a meaningful output, and movies that can still be impressive and not following the Hirokazu Korida flat level, I have to say. For me, this is a masterpiece. This is okay. I understand this is my personal opinion, but Killing for me is a masterpiece from one of the few directors that can still come up with Japanese movies that can truly thrill. I feel that Tsukamoto is in the same category with Toshiaki Toyoda, let's say, and Tetsuya Mariko, and a number of others who still manage to retain, to keep the torch burning. So that was for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy these reviews, please like the video and subscribe to our channel, and hopefully we will see you soon again. Have a nice day.